Hello everyone. So I feel like this is a little bit early still to be making a video like this, but I wanted to share with you all of the journals that I have worked in, completed, or abandoned in 2022. Now that we're heading into the new year, this just feels like an appropriate video to make, and also to talk about some of the things that I'll be moving into at the beginning of 2023. So first of all, these are the journals that I completed this year. Started off with this. This was a cut down Midori notebook for a standard size. And I feel like the standard size is probably what I ended up using the most this year. I've really just found quite a soft spot for it. I think it's the ratio. I think it's this, like, being able to hold it, but having the length of an A5 size notebook. It feels spacious, but not big and bulky, and can fit in a lot of different purses and bags, and it's just easy to carry around. So I had so much fun with this journal. This was actually a journal that I had started in another year completely and never finished it. Decided to chop it in almost half, and then it became this like love affair. I just felt so comfortable and at peace and bonded with this journal, which is really important because if you don't have those feelings, you're probably not going to want to pick it up and write in it. So to have that feeling is just sheer bliss. I had so much fun in that size. As you can see, also it got pretty bulky because I was doing a lot of collaging, and really inspired to keep doing that. So I decided I wanted to create a challenge for myself and collage every single journal entry, which I had never done before. Quite a commitment. I didn't know if I'd have the time or the energy. And so I decided, instead of doing a really big journal, I would just use an insert. This is a traveler's notebook insert. This is grid paper, and I did it. I collaged every single page and then filled it in with my normal stream of conscious journal-y thoughts, and I had so much fun, and it felt so good to have this plan and to see it through and complete it. Oh, that was a good feeling. Really, I felt quite proud of myself. Oh, and I'm seeing a picture of Brian and I and Dot and Fig on Dot and Fig's first backpacking trip. It was this in March in the Gila wilderness, and that's such a great picture of all of us. That was a really wonderful trip. Oh man, that's nice to see. Anyways, I actually documented all of the collages, or I think most of the collages, on my YouTube channel. So if I can remember, I'll put a link to that video. That felt really good. But after that, I was like, you know what? I need something new and refreshing, because now I've been doing this for a couple months, this size for a couple months in a row. I want something a little bit more official rather than an insert. I wanted a notebook that had a hard cover and felt like a notebook, not just an insert, if that makes any sense. So I moved back into a Leuchtturm A5 size, which has been historically a go-to journal for me. I love Leuchtturms. I've talked a lot about them. I've used so many A5s and pockets as well, and I had so much fun. I felt so good. Actually, no, I'm sorry. You know what I tried before this? I'm just realizing. This Hobonichi, oh shoot, Techo is what it's called. And this one has like every day a spread, and there's also things on the, like a little calendar. And I wanted to try this out and see if I could do something a little bit different. I collaged every day to kind of like represent that particular day. I only did it for the month of January. Okay, so this came even before those others, sorry. In the end, because I was really not feeling very inspired, I think, to journal, and I thought, oh, well, I could probably do like a page a day. Sometimes I just did a sentence because I was just that uninspired. In the end, I want to love this notebook so badly. I just couldn't, I didn't have it in me. And so then I think I moved into this. Volume number 59. I had so much fun. It felt so familiar. I did do a little bit of collaging, which was not my intention initially, but I ended up going back and filling in blank spaces. So every time I start a new day, I start a new page, and I always started on the right side of the notebook. And so sometimes there are back sides of the pages on the left side of the notebook that are blank. And so I just went back in and started putting in stickers and pictures and collages and really enjoying that. So this journal ended up becoming quite fat. Again, I had so much fun and felt so bonded and inspired by this notebook. I also didn't have any like decor plans. These stickers just happened randomly throughout the life of this journal. So I think the first sticker was this. I found it at a bookstore. I was reading Uzumaki at the time, and this is from that manga. And I was like, oh my gosh, how cool. And so I stuck it on there. And then later I did some random things here and there, and it wasn't very coherent. But anyways, I had so much fun with that notebook that I was like, okay, let's recreate it all over again. And so I moved into another Leuchtturm A5. And you can see here, this is all that I did. Those are all the entries right there. What is this, page 53? That's as far as I got in this notebook out of what, like 250 pages or something? I couldn't replicate the experience I had with this one, and so it was just like, all right, well, I guess I need something else. That is when I started doing the typewriter journal. I had a big fat stack of loose pages from typewritten entries from last year and this year, and I decided to bind them, and I really liked that. So I was like, I can replicate this. I can make a journal or pages. I could type up pages with the intention of making a bound journal in the end when I'm done with my entries. So I thought, this is experimental. I should start off small. So I made something this tiny and not that many pages. But like I said, I wanted to experiment. I wanted to see if it worked. I made all of the signatures in advance and numbered them so that I could know where I was in the journal. This one went from July 3rd to July 16th, so it didn't take me very long to complete. And I finished it and bound it up. I really liked the result. I had so much fun. I was really inspired to be typing. Completely neglected and abandoned handwritten journals at that point, and decided to do that all over again, but with a little bit more of a commitment now that I knew that it could work. So this is July 17th through September 9th, and it is a bound typewritten journal. This one I used the Copic binding. I think I did for that one as well. And again, just made my signatures beforehand and put the page numbers and typed up all of my entries. And here it is. It felt really good. I don't know how I feel about this cover, but you know what? it'll do. I'm still really happy that I did it. And then a switch like went off in my brain, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really miss handwritten journal entries, and I really miss fountain pens, because I haven't been using fountain pens for the majority of this year, which is crazy. After 7+ years of using fountain pens exclusively, I just stopped altogether and was writing with roller balls and ballpoints and whatever, and then typing. And so I was like, now that it's, you know what, I think a big part of it was fall. Sweaters, hot cups of coffee, coziness, beautiful ink going on the page. Like, it just, something about fall inspired me to bring out my fountain pen. So I inked up my favorite vintage fountain pen, which is this Schaefer oversized balance. And I wanted luxurious paper to match, and I decided to use up some of the notebooks that I have on hand. So this is the Galen Leather Everyday Book. This was actually sent to me by Galen Leather. I first found out about these inserts though from a pen pal who sent me one just to see if I would like it, and I did. And then Galen Leather reached out and wanted to know if I wanted to try them out or to make a video about it, and sure enough, I did. And so I moved into this little one. This was originally, I mean, it's the same notebook. I decorated the covers. Originally, it had leather because I was like, at the time, kind of liked this. And so I wanted to see how these covers would look if I just wrapped them in leather. Hated it. So I ripped it off, but that kind of damaged the paper cover a little bit. And so I had to cover it all up completely. This is volume number 61. I covered the inside and the back and the inside of that as well. I did 22 days out of the 30 days Tumamoc climbs in September. I'm really proud of that. I've been climbing Tumamoc regularly. Now that the weather's also starting to cool down, that makes a huge difference. One actually wants to be outside. So anyways, I really fell in love. It was another, like, this journal is really inspiring me. I feel bonded. I am connected. I'm loving this standard size. And this is done, and now I'm in a new one, which is, again, the Galen Leather Tomoe River paper insert. And it is here in my traveler's notebook. This one is the olive green, which is just such a beautiful color, and I feel so fortunate to have this. I found this on eBay a couple years ago, and it's marvelous. I love this one. And I feel like the camera never picks up the color. It never does it justice. But if you see the inside color, that kind of is a little bit better a representation of what this leather color is. So right now I have this little Traveler's Company insert. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm using it right now, kind of experimenting with it a little bit. It's not doing much. It's holding some stickers and some cash and some coins in the back, and that's really it right now. But we might bulk it up, we'll see. And this is volume number 62. So again, I decorated the cover. I liked doing the inside and the outside, so I went ahead and did that again. This one I'm, feeling a little inspired for Halloween because it's October, and I started this in October. And so that's kind of the running theme, just a little bit. Yeah, I have this little rat creature looking thing. Rat, cat, bat creature. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. I'm also reading H.P. Lovecraft right now, and that little creature really reminds me of something he would write about. And then there's the back and the inside cover. I don't like how this turned out. The photo I had for all of these, the front and the insides and the back, was a little bit short, so I kind of like tried to make up for that with stickers. So, holy cow, that was a lot more rambling than I thought. But one last thing I want to share, and that is for 2023, I have two things that I will be starting off the year with, one of which is a Hobonichi Weeks. This is my 5th year using the Hobonichi Weeks, or my 6th year. I think I started in 2019 or 18 or 17. Gosh, I can't remember. Unfortunately, because I really just use these as a planner, like I don't use them creatively or as, like, it's literally just to help keep track of what I need to do on any given day. It's pretty boring. And sometimes I use the week at a glance for my to-do lists, just like little things like this. It's not pretty. So I tend to toss these out. So I only have 2021 and 2022, unfortunately. I wish I kept those other ones now in hindsight, just because the covers are really interesting and it's kind of fun to see that grow. But anyways, this is the 2023 that I have. It will be the year of the rabbit, and this one has little bunnies all over the cover. Not very different from 2022. So I'm excited to use this. I also will be entering the year with a new 5-year journal. This is another Hobonichi. So I actually had this journal a while ago, but I didn't start in the year that it started. So these Hobonichi 5 years have like a set date. So this is 2023 is when it starts and it ends in 2027. The other one that I had started like 2 years prior, but I really wanted to try a 5-year diary. That bothered me so much, having to start on like the second row down and leave these two empty, and I had these spaces that I felt like I had to fill somehow, and it just really bothered me. So when I saw that this 2023 was the year that they would be releasing their next volume of these 5-year journals, I was really excited. So I wanted to jump on the bandwagon and start off at the beginning of when these little books start. And that just, I don't know. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, I actually am using a 5-year diary right now. Let me go get it. My voice is starting to get really hoarse. I haven't talked this much all at once in a long time. So this is the current 5-year diary that I'm using, and this was a Midori 5-year. And the nice thing about this one is that it doesn't have a set year. So it's actually trying to like find a page that doesn't feel personal. But I guess that's just the reality of these things. But anyways, there's the year here, and it just says 20 and then a blank. So you can actually put in 2021, 2022. So what I figure is I've done this one for 2 years now. I'm going to take a pause and move into the Hobonichi one, which is tiny and adorable and kind of chunky, and it's filled with Tomoe River paper, and then it's all like, look how cozy that is. I don't know. And put this on the shelf, and when I'm done with this, if in 5 years or 6 years from now I will still be doing this sort of thing, I'll just move back into this and finish it off, because I can put in the years there, but I can't with this one. So that is all I wanted to talk about, which turned out to be a whole heck of a lot more than I realized. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. And sorry for rambling. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.